They're building him up to give him to another team. Like all that hard work that Colcat put, all the veterans, Marcus Williams, everybody's putting into this, because that's why we're signing these veterans, right? So that they could help our players evolve, grow into these amazing players. For what? For us to just give them away to the Jets, to the Giants. Why are we doing that? To the Browns? Like, what is going on, Ravens flock? My name is Drastic, and I want to welcome you guys back to another video on our YouTube channel, Flock and Ravens. And on today's video, we're going to be talking about one of the hardest questions that these Ravens have to answer before the trade deadline on October 31st. And that is, should these Ravens make a big trade move to add yet another piece to the defense, or should they consider paying one of the guys that we already have on this roster, one or more of the guys, right? And this is a question that we had going into the season, and this is still a question that we have today going into week 8, right? And this isn't an easy question to answer, because there are so many point of views that you could look at the whole situation. But I want to kind of explore all these different point of views, right? And I want to start off with pretty much comparing them this year to last year. And I'm talking about our players that you guys saw on the thumbnail, right? Patrick Queen, Brandon Stevens, Geno Stone, Justin MADUBUIKE. These players, we have to make a decision on them. Are we going to extend them? Are we going to trade them? Are we going to let them walk after their contract is up? We have to make a decision, right? And with these players, in order to really judge them, look at where they were last year and look at where they're at this year, right? You're going to notice the big improvement. It's a huge leap that these players took, right? And based on that alone, you could already tell that these players are worth extending. And that's why, for me personally, yes, I do want to bring on new talents, but I don't feel too comfortable with that, because not everybody's gonna end up being a Roquan Smith where they're just gonna mesh perfectly. That is not always the case, and you guys know this for a fact, right? Because look at Chuck Clark. Was always, for the majority of the time, he was always healthy with us, right? He went to the Jets. What happened? Practice, boom, injured, out for the season. So it's not just about injuries, right? It could also be the production that these players are going to give you. Not everybody is going to give you the same production on the Ravens as they would on, let's say, the Vikings, right? Because it's a whole nother system. You do not know. I mean, they're already, I think the Vikings are on the top 5 list on blitzing, right? And a lot of you guys are considering, I can't remember his name. But a lot of you guys want Hunter. And him coming into this team that we're not really blitzing like that, like the Vikings or all of those other teams, how is he going to mesh with this new defense? It could be that, yes, he's going to come in and fit right in. That could be the case. But there is also a chance that whoever we trade for can come in, and it could be the same situation it was for Yannick Ngakoue. It could be the same exact situation where that player has pretty much one of the worst seasons he had in his whole entire career, right? And it's going to be a waste of a trade. A waste of a trade. No shot at Yannick, but it is what it is, right? So that's what I'm scared of, because yes, we could bring in somebody that could possibly help us, but we could bring in somebody who could be pretty much a disappointment, right? So why take that risk when you already have guys on our roster that have proven that they could lead in sacks, they could lead in interceptions, right? We have guys that we're building to be great players just to send them away to other teams, like we did with Zadarius Smith, with Matt Judon. We can't keep doing that because we want to be cheap, all right? That's how I feel. I feel that we just have to change. We have to change that mindset. If we're going to work so hard to train, to improve these players, let's do it so that we could keep them around, all right? Let's stop this whole nonsense of, oh, we can't afford everybody. I don't want to hear that, because that wasn't the case with the Legion of Boom, with the Seahawks, right? that wasn't the case. Like, there could be many ways to get that done. But the Ravens, for some reason, they always want to go the cheap route. And that is something that is always going to bite us in the ass if we do not change, right? One of the players that I think we cannot even negotiate, like, he has to stay a Raven, Patrick Queen. He has shown us that he can give us the production. He has shown us that he can improve year to year, okay? Game to game. Forget year to year. Game to game, you see an improvement with Patrick Queen, all right? And he's consistent. Like, that's an issue that we have, that on the offense and sometimes with the defense, where we don't see consistency, right? But that's something that you'll always see with Patrick Queen. He's very consistent. And the thing with him as well that I really like is that he's always there. He's always on that field. He does not take time off. There is no problems with injury. There is no illness or none of that. Very rare. I'm not going to say there's never, because there has been, but it's nothing crazy like we've been seeing with other players. I'm not going to name any player in particular, but y'all know who I'm talking about, right? So with Patrick Queen, it's a sure thing that he's going to show up every Sunday. He's going to give you great production, and he's going to improve. Week to week, he's going to improve every single week. Just when you think like, yo, this guy can't get any better, he just shocks you. He shocks you. So Patrick Queen, I don't know what EDC has to do, and I'll be lying to you if I tell you like I know all about how the cap, the salary, how all that works. I don't. If you guys know some loophole or whatever that we could keep Roquan, we could keep Patrick Queen, we could keep I don't know, Geno Stone, let me know down in the comments. But Patrick Queen, that's a player that, in my opinion, I feel that we cannot let go. We can, and let's not even get started with trading Patrick Queen away to get whoever. That's not an option. In my eyes, that is not an option. I am not willing to trade away Patrick Queen, a player that has been improvement year to year, week to week, month to month. He improves, and he's always healthy. He has to stay. Now we got to talk about Geno Stone. Think about this for 1 second. The Ravens drafted Geno Stone in the 7th round. That's a steal, all right? That's a steal. And the Ravens made the mistake of placing Geno Stone on our practice squad, which opened the door for the Texans to sign him to their active roster. Now, luckily, he only went there for like 1 week. I don't even think he played a game over there. But then he came back, and we signed him to 1 year, right? Geno Stone is a player that, again, the moment he came onto this team, he helped a lot, and he learns. He's a player that learns from the elders, from the vets, right? He learns from the veterans. Geno Stone is a player that truly does listen and watches the veterans, right? When his number is called up, he shows out and he shows up, all right? And this happened last year when Marcus Williams went down, right? With I think it was the wrist injury. I don't know what he had. I can't remember. I think it was the wrist injury. He went out. He was just having a great 3-4 weeks, and then Marcus Williams came back, and yeah, that was that, right? This year, the same exact thing happened. Marcus Williams, I think, tore his pec, and Geno Stone came in, and bro, he is balling out, bro. This guy is leading in interceptions. He's leading the league in interceptions. So that alone shows you what type of player he is, right? Because the moment Cole Cap retired, he took that place with pride, and he showed us what he learned from him. And he's showing us every single week that he's learned from him, and he's able to take over, right? So with that being said, why not extend him? Like, what else do you need to see from him? Because you're building him up to give him to another team. Like all that hard work that Colcat put, all the veterans, Marcus Williams, everybody's putting into this, because that's why we're signing these veterans, right? So that they could help our players evolve, grow into these amazing players. For what? For us to just give them away to the Jets, to the Giants. Why are we doing that? To the Browns? Like, we need to stop doing this. If we're going to take the time to help improve these players, bring in veterans to teach them, right? Because that's always the reason why we can't sign these big names, because they want veterans that are pretty much near the end of their careers so that they could teach our young players, right? But if you're going to do that, keep them around. So Patrick Queen, Geno Stone, they're perfect examples of that. You guys invested so much time and money for what? It better not be to chip them out. Y'all better keep them. You guys have to keep them. Right? Now, let's go on to Brandon Stevens. Now, with Brandon Stevens, I mean, it's debatable. In my eyes, I think he is improving. Brandon Stevens is a player that you can rely on him. I mean, you're clearly seeing him out there more than you see Rocky Sin. So that tells you just how much, like how good he is, what he means to this team, right? So his production, I think, is very solid. Every now and then he has his mistakes, but I don't know. With him, I wouldn't be too upset if, we trade him or if we don't re-sign him. I wouldn't be too hurt about it, It's not that I have anything against him or I don't like his game. It's nothing to do with that. But between these four players, I think Patrick Queen, I think Geno Stone, those are the clear picks that we have to keep on this team. Like, it is what it is. And if we have to let one person go, I'm not trying to, but if we have to let Brandon Stevens go, it is what it is, right? Let me know what you guys think about that. If you guys think Brandon Stevens has a great case to why he should stay on this roster, why we need to extend him and all of that, let me know. All right? Now, let's move on to Justin MADUBUIKE. Now, he is a player that this year alone, made a huge splash, right? He made his presence known, not just to the Ravens, to the NFL. To the NFL, because this guy could pressure. He could bring the pressure, bro. He definitely brings the pressure. So I don't know what it is. I don't know if it was, that his guys, Owe, Ojabo, they're returning. I don't know what happened, but this guy made a huge splash this season, and this is a player that, again, this is hard to find. Like, the Ravens keep thinking that these type of players like Justin MADUBUIKE, Geno Stone, was Patrick Queen, like, they're players that just grow on trees. We could just find them anywhere. Like, that's not the case at all. All right? I'm not saying there is no players like these players, but it's very hard to find them. And if you find them, you better bet your ass that whichever team they're playing for, they're not letting them go. They're not letting them go unless it's like near the end of their career. That's when they finally say, you know what, let's trade them, let's release them, cut them, whatever, right? And that's when the Ravens want to say, come on in. Stop doing that, bro. Y'all are spending so much time and money to build these players up. I know I keep repeating myself, but it's because I'm tired of it. I hated seeing Zadarius Smith go. I hated seeing Matthew Judon go. Bro, like, why are we going to keep doing that? Why? We need to stop. Brandon Williams, bro. Like, Orlando Brown. Like, we have so many great players, and you don't get to see them until, like, I don't even know how to explain myself, bro. Like, at this point, it's because I'm just so tired of seeing the same thing. And I hope that the Ravens don't make the mistake of, you know what, let's trade away. Because I heard even some fans saying we should trade away Patrick Queen for Chase Young. That blows my mind when I hear that. Because I'm like, so you want to trade away a healthy Patrick Queen that shows you time and time again that he can stay healthy. He can give you production week to week and improvement week to week for a player that gets injured constantly, for a player that, I'm sorry, but his career is like this, bro. It's never like a steady up. Now, I'm not expecting him to be the best player ever, but he is a first round pick. So you have to show me that you can play like a first round pick, right? And this player is like this, bro. A lot of this, to be honest with you. From what I see, there's a lot of this, a lot of downwards, right? But y'all want to trade away players like Patrick Queen for a player like Chase Young? That makes no sense to me. It doesn't. It doesn't, because then we trade away a healthy player, and then when he comes on and he gets injured, what are y'all going to say? Y'all going to start blaming John Harbaugh? Y'all going to start blaming the trainers, the strength and training staff? Like, no, blame yourselves for, actually approving such a dumb trade like that. But let me know down in the comments what you guys think about these 4 players. Who do you guys think we should sign? Who do you guys think, not sign, who do you guys think we should extend? Who do you guys think, we should just let them ride their contract out? And if you guys would be willing to trade for a player, who would you guys want? Who do you guys want to add on to? Because here's another thing too. We're having a hard time trying to pay the players that we have now. So if we add on another player, we're going to eventually have to pay them too. So this situation that we have now with these players just gets that much harder. So unless you're willing to move from all these players to sign one of them and bring them and keep them here long term, I don't see the point of adding players on the defense. All right, I'm only talking about players on our defense, or trading for a player for the defense. All right, I'm not talking about like your DeAndre Hopkins, Derrick Henry. I'm not talking about none of those. I'm only talking about players on the defense. All right, so for me, it's a big no. I don't think it's worth it. I think our guys showed us that they are worth extending. They are worth, if whoever thinks like they haven't proven enough, they're worth being patient for. Like, if you haven't seen everything that you want to see out of such and such player, they're worth being patient for. They're eventually going to get there. Trust me, they're eventually going to meet your expectations. But I just don't know how it's going to play out with a player that we haven't seen how they are with this team. Again, there's a chance it can play out like Roquan Smith. Perfect, beautiful, right? But that's the best case scenario. You got to also think about the worst case scenario. So, yeah, that's where I stand when it comes to this whole trading thing. Let me know down in the comments what you guys think. Let me know what player you guys would trade for, what you guys will give up, whether it's going to be a draft pick, whether it's going to be a player for player and a draft pick, whatever it is. Let me know down in the comments. Let me know if you guys don't even agree with none of that and you guys just want to pay our players. Let me know. And at the end of your comment, make sure to leave a hashtag FlockGain. Make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Share the channel. Let's grow this channel, because once we hit 1,000, and we're close, once we hit 1,000 subscribers, we're going to be giving away 2 tickets to the November 15 game, Ravens versus the Bengals at M&T Bank. I'm going to give it away to a random subscriber. So make sure you're subscribed to the channel so that you have a chance to win those 2 tickets. All right. And with that, I'm going to see y'all in the next video.